guys, don't forget, before we get into our sneak peek, like, subscribe to the Crime Chat, ring the bell, or this guy's gonna come after you.
Coming up.
I'm a nerd, like a Marvel nerd. The Red Hulk.
Wait, what?
Like the Hulk, but the Red Hulk.
When I tell you it is a dark animation, it just takes like every childhood fear that everybody has and it puts it into like an adult nightmare.
That's fucking... Oh my god.
You didn't see it coming.
Oh yes. Well, for the story today, you asked me to do an intro on profiling. Yeah, one of our favorite subjects. Of note, there is also an opinion that the first professional profiler was the protagonist of Edgar Allan Poe's short story, The Murders in the Rue Morgue. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yes.
I'm done. I'm done.
All right. I think this case broke Kat.
I am. I quit. I'm done.
Hey there, chatters. I'm Nat.
And I'm Kat, and welcome to the Crime Chat. I am your forensic femme fatale. Natalie is your true crimatic connoisseur.
We're just two normal girls who obsess about dark crimes, evil minds, and occasionally the unknown.
Here is your disclaimer, chatters. The following Crime Chat does contain adult content and will have descriptions of violent scenarios today, so your listener discretion is advised.
Yes, you've been warned. And before we get into today's Crime Chat, Kat, what have you done?
The other day, I was looking for something to watch, and I binged Agatha All Along.
How was it?
It was good.
Was it?
Yeah.
Don't spoil it. I want to watch it.
Yeah.
Just haven't.
I'm a nerd, like Marvel nerd, right?
Mhm.
And I just love how they tied the story into Scarlet Witch and you know what I saw really briefly? The Red Hulk. Like the Hulk, but the Red Hulk. Harrison Ford is playing the Red Hulk.
He's an old guy, though.
I know. Like, is this real thing? Like,
Yeah.
he's 82. And finally got Chris to watch Only Murders in the Building. I finished the series. He doesn't know I finished the series. But we're watching it over again. And my gosh, it's so good.
And I don't know why this popped up on my feed, but the movie is called The Return of the Pumpkin Rabbit. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay. Neither have I. And it's an animation.
Okay.
But when I tell you it is a dark animation and it is scarier than any movie I have ever seen. Yeah. It just takes like every childhood fear that everybody has and it puts it into like an adult nightmare. So even though you're watching it and it's animation, no.
Oh, that reminds me. Okay.
What?
So one of the other things I watched, so it's on Hulu. It's called Mr. Crockett. And it's not like terrifying, but it made me jump a couple times. But it's also one of those humorous thrillers.
Okay. It's like a dark comedy.
Yes. It's got basically the premise of it is the guy, Mr. Crockett. Imagine Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Oh, yes. I've read about that in the Bible.
Well, Mr. Crockett has a way to sense when a child who is watching his show is in a difficult home, put in a bad situation. Well, Mr. Crockett comes through the TV and kills whoever's hurting this child and takes the child back to him, to his world.
Okay, I need to see this.
Yes.
Like, this is where do I find this?
Hulu. It's a Hulu original.
You watch what I told you and I'll watch what you just told me.
That's reminded me of it. Like when you were describing that, I was sparked. Well, for the story today, you asked me to do an intro on profiling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of our favorite subjects.
Yes.
Some of our favorite people.
Yes, although John Douglas would be really disappointed in this case.
A bit.
Yeah,
He does make a cameo appearance in
cool. Okay.
this little intro. So, criminal profiling is an investigative strategy used by law enforcement agencies to identify likely suspects and has been used by investigators to link cases that have been committed by the same perpetrator. The earliest reference, this blew my mind, to profiling dates back to the 1st century AD.
Really? I
Yes.
didn't know that.
I was
Okay.
like, what? So apparently it was in an essay by R.S. Feldman, and it was titled Introduction to the Speaker. And it included information about gestures people used at that time. So of note, there is also an opinion that the first professional profiler was the protagonist of Edgar Allan Poe's short story, The Murders in the Rue Morgue. This was published in 1841, who used a method of constructing a psychological portrait of the killer. Quick reference, guys. Episode 43, we did cover the life and mysterious death of Edgar Allan Poe. So additionally, one of the first offender profiles was assembled by detectives in the Metropolitan Police on the personality of Jack the Ripper. Like, that was the first time a psychological profile was really kind of put together. Police surgeon Thomas Bond was asked to give his opinion on the extent of the murderer's surgical skill and knowledge. Thomas Bond's basic profile included that, quote, the murderer must have been a man of physical strength and great coolness and daring, subject to periodic attacks of homicidal and erotic mania. The characters of the mutilations indicate that the man may be in a condition sexually, and that may be called satyriasis. Actually, I had to look up the pronunciation and the definition because I was like, what the fuck is satyriasis? Well, it's a term that's now considered hypersexuality. And this is a medical condition that causes unwanted or excessive sexual arousal that causes someone to engage in or think about sexual activity to a point of distress or impairment. As we know today, are no strangers to us, of course, the FBI's Robert Ressler and John Douglas. Jed. We did an episode on Jed, so go back and check it out. Ressler and Douglas took a profile to a deeper level using psychology and identifying characteristics of an individual and forming a general description of their personality based on an analysis of the crimes that the perpetrator committed. Experienced investigative professionals can use the proven method to round up multiple suspects and narrow down the possibilities to a few potential offenders. And basically, it's instead of casting a net out in the ocean, you're casting a net in a lake where
That's a good analogy.
It's not as many. So you're already kind of narrowing down the playing field. So Nat, how would you spot a serial killer? Are criminals born or are they made?
Oh, I think a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While it's not necessarily easy to identify future serial killers, there are some traits that could be considered early signs.
Well, let's get into my story. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, well, picture this. It's a typical morning in Germany.
Oh, guten Tag.
Yes, with the kind of quiet, picturesque charm you'd expect to see on a postcard. But beneath this calm exterior, something deeply sinister is unfolding. This isn't the Germany of soundtracks and sunshine. It's the beginning of one of the strangest and most frustrating criminal cases the world has ever seen.
Okay.
The Phantom of Heilbronn, also known as the woman without a face, was believed to be responsible for a slew of crimes across Germany, from petty theft to brutal murders. The hunt to catch this invisible killer grew desperate as each crime scene yielded the same trace DNA evidence connecting them to a single suspect. But as you'll soon learn, the infamous Phantom of Heilbronn wasn't what anyone expected. They realized that, wait a minute, the Phantom's DNA is missing now on the second test.
Yeah.
Confused, police turned to the tools used to gather the evidence and discover something shocking. The cotton swabs used in multiple cases were contaminated.
I quit. That's fucking... Oh my God.
You didn't see it coming. Right? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yes.
I'm done. I'm done.
All right. I think this case broke Kat. Okay.
I am. I quit. I'm done.